Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by a friend we've had beyond the mic before for his project, The Burden. He's a storyteller, strategist, speaker, and social entrepreneur, and most importantly, husband and dad. His latest project is a podcast, Crying Wolf. We welcome back Dax Devlon-Ross.
Oh, man, it's so good to be back. It's nice to be able to do a tour again and come back and see, well, at least speak to some of the familiar voices, I should say. Thank you for having me.
Dax, let's return beyond the mic. What made Lee Harris's story so powerful?
Honestly, after having done The Burden, and that story was really hard. It took 4 years of my life and even longer of Steve Fishman's, my best friend, one of my closest friends in this project. And you come out of a story like that, dealing with wrongful conviction, you're dealing with like corruption and all the things, and you just want to wash yourself of it. And in the midst of me washing myself of that story, I got an email, and it was about this possible journey I might go on regarding Lee Harris. And initially I wasn't entirely interested. I was like, I'm tired. I can't do this. But there was something else distinct in this story. It was something special. And honestly, Sean, it was the relationship between Lee and his friend, Robert Chatler. And I think this is what makes this story different. We've heard a lot of wrongful conviction stories, and I believe that all of them are worth telling. All of them need to be told. But what thing is special about this one is that, these two guys meet in prison in the late 90s, early 2000s. Robert gets out in 2001, and he makes a promise. And I really want to sit with that. He makes a promise that he's going to look into his buddy's case. Nobody else had paid any attention to Lee for about 15 years at this point. But this guy, Robert Chatler, spends the next 20 plus years of his life spending his own money, his own time, his own energy, investigating, finding lawyers, paying for this, just not giving up because he believed in a guy he shared a cell with for about a year. Who does that? Who does that? And I just thought that I couldn't not tell this story and be part of it because it seemed like it was that kind of Shawshank Redemption story. It just felt really powerful and different and beautiful. And I think that in this time and age, we need stories about cross-racial friendship, people who will go to bat for each other and fight for each other. And this is what this is. This is what this is.
Was Robert's effort to free his friend helpful for him?
It's a great question. I think Robert would say absolutely it was helpful for him because Robert is a unique character in and of himself. You'll find out about it in the story. He's an animal lover. And a lover of the exotic and the bizarre animals. And he's a different cat. He's a different cat. And Lee accepted him from the very beginning. Lee never judged him. Lee was his friend. And when any other people often might have judged him or thought him as off or odd. And I think that it was helpful for him to have something to anchor around when he got out of prison. It's something that kept him clean, kept him straight and narrow, kept him focused and gave him purpose. And, there was a period when Lee finally did get out and was finally exonerated. Lee went down and spent time at Del Rio, Texas, where Robert had a farm and they lived together for a period of time. And I think, it was really important for Robert. It was like a father figure for him in a way. Like he has his own father, but Lee was like a father figure for him, or if not a really big brother, an older brother. So I do think it helped him. I think it was really important. And it hurt him deeply. It still hurts him to this day. He's a crier. He cried a lot when I interviewed him. He's a crier. But that's because their relationship is true and the bond was real.
So what's the one fact from this case that haunts you?
Man, I think the one fact is that Lee Harris went from being the lead witness, meaning the state's primary witness, because they had coached him into this role, put him in a hotel, were taking care of him, literally taking care of him. And when they could not find anyone for this heinous crime and the city of Chicago demanded accountability, they turned to him. So he went from being helpful in one regard to being useful in another regard. And I think the fact that could happen so easily, and that were it not for someone deciding to fight and then find a lawyer and Jennifer Black who was willing to dig, he would still, he passed away 2 years ago, but he would have ended up dying in prison for something he didn't do.
Dax Devlon-Ross, host of Crying Wolf, joins us for the Rockin 88 Random Questions. Just trust your first instinct, Dax. There's no pressure.
I remember this now. I'm ready for this time.
Best tequila is what kind?
God, I'd say Reposado. I don't even know what brand. I will just say Reposado is what I do. right? If I do drink, I'm going to have a Reposado. And I can't tell you the brand because I don't know. I don't drink anymore, man.
What's the one thing your kids try to convince you to do, but fail?
Ooh. They try to convince me to watch TV at any possible moment of time, thinking that I will say yes, and I always say no, but eventually say yes.
Read a book. Which of your kids stays up the longest now?
Oh God, the 6-year-old. She just, the energy doesn't fade. I mean, it's really weird. It's like, how do you still have energy at this hour? So yeah, the 6-year-old.
In 10 words or less, what's the power of your first men's retreat you led?
Oof. It is men connecting and being vulnerable over an open fire in ways that I know that was the way that was the way we've always done it historically in the past, around a fire, telling our truths.
So which course at GW Law School was the one you struggled with the most?
Ooh, man. I would say it was tax. Good Lord, it was tax.
I'm telling you, nobody normal likes tax law.
It was definitely tax law. I have the post-traumatic stress to corroborate it.
Who's the one person that makes you a better man every day?
Oh, easy answer. Her name is Alana Ross. My love.
Strawberry or grape jelly?
Strawberry now. Grape when I was a kid.
Really?
Grapes taste fake now. Strawberry still has a bit of the strawberry. Grape doesn't taste real anymore to me. It's like, doesn't taste like a grape.
Musician or singer that touches your heart and soul?
Oof. Michael Kiwanuka comes up right now. He's both. Michael Kiwanuka is powerful. The man's voice and his,
Let's sneak in one more with Dax Devlon-Ross. As you look at all these cases of miscarriages of justice, how does that wear on you?
Yeah. I mean, I get the benefit of being able to get up and go to bed and not have to think about, whether or not I'm going to get free tomorrow. I am. So it doesn't weigh on me as much as I imagine it weighs on the other people who have to live through it. Family members, friends, people who are deeply connected. I just think I want people to understand that this is systemic and that this is something that we're still living through and still experiencing in a very visceral and real way. But it weighs on me only insofar as I feel like I have some gift and some talent and some ability and therefore some calling and responsibility to help be a part of this change.
Time for 2 impossible questions.
I love it.
Dax, can the alleged deep-seated corruption that plagues Chicago ever be cleaned up?
Chicago's phenomenal, man. They have a torture inquiry review committee that is like the first of its kind as far as I know. There's a level of accountability in the Cook County that I think is part of the reason there are so many exonerations. So I wanted to be clear and state that I think that the past, and let's be clear, today is actually the day that in 1969 Fred Hampton was murdered by the Chicago police. So I want to just name that that is part of this story as well. And so this is a long, long, long journey. And I do believe there's an incredible, the People's Law Office, the incredible number of grassroots activists who are fighting for and have gotten a lot of accountability out of Cook County.
Dax, what do you consider justice for Richard Zuley's actions?
Man, I think that Richard Zuley, at the very minimum, needs to be required to come into a courtroom and sit and face the people or some of the families that have been impacted by his actions. At this point, he's been able to avoid all of that. And that's just not okay. You don't just get to live out your retirement. And I know he's an older man and I don't want to disparage his family, but there are a lot of people whose lives were completely upended. And there's been no sense of accountability on his part other than he was just doing his job. And that doesn't feel like enough.
He thinks grape jelly tastes fake now, has trouble getting his energetic 6-year-old to sleep, and wants you to hear Crying Wolf. Dax Devlon-Ross, my friend, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
And thank you for making time for me, too. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Have a great one.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.